Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on the second part of Endless Adventures, and while it may seem like, oh wow, Notepad, you didn't really do anything, you look like you actually removed things. The secret to huge success is that I did not. Welcome to traits. All. Currently there are 60 of them. I still need more. One thing I should do is actually, let's do skill potential, and we'll do attribute potential. Their species, wild. Virtually skilled, often find themselves with specific inclination. Alive, the species, wild. Well, not universally adept. All attributes. Find themselves with inclinations during their lives. And what we want to do is the species has a actually all characters. The species have +1 attunement to a skill of their choice. All characters from this species have +1 attribute attunement to a attribute of their choice. What we want to make that. We can probably do that 3 per skill point, 3 per skill. Actually, 3 per skill attunement. And we want to make this probably about 5 per attribute attunement. Now, 62 different attributes, different traits that yes, your characters can take on an individual race, all of which have various mechanics associated with them, and all of which are technically viable. This took far, far, far too long. Because there are so many goddamn options. There are so many things to consider with this that every single one of these has to have a different cost associated with it. I had to go with 5 for a lot of them just because 5 and 10 are probably really easy to work with. But there are a lot. And do I have everything? Absolutely not. I know I don't. And that's a part that's going to bother me till the end of time. So other things that changed. The species changed. How species work changed slightly. No cost, however, every single species has a pretty much what I would like to call a +1 bonus. So arthropod, for example, they increase their spirit by 2 steps, but they reduce their finesse by 1 step. So if I have a D6 into my spirit, I would in fact instead have a D10 in my spirit. If I have a D6 in my finesse, I would in fact have a D4 in my finesse. Other ones such as, let's see, like plantoids, they just get a +1 in either direction. However, they also have things like photosynthesis. Molluscoids have tentacles, Because I couldn't think of anything else for them. Welcome to, welcome to my life. And I should put a note there. Probably the most powerful one I can think of is right here with fungoids, because they can just reroll 1 die every session, which doesn't seem like a lot. I'm still not guaranteed on the prices here. Something about them doesn't seem right. Something about them is not clicking with me. I don't know what that is. And tentatively speaking, this is what sizes do. They give you either health, and how health works is, let's say I have a D8, let's say a D8 for my bod. For an average size, I would have 8 times 3 health, which would be 24 health. And that's just it flat. I have 24 health flat. That's it for now. I might change it to wound tiers. I don't know yet. I'm not really sold in either direction on that case because of the nature of the game. I want it to be a little bit more high flyer and not have that death spiral as I normally would put in. It's already getting a little bit wonky in some cases, so... And defense value is pretty much how many successes you need to actually hit the person, which I'm still not completely sold on, because it's it's wonky, and I don't quite know how I want to do it correctly, because, I don't know. Hello, phone. Give me one moment, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I am back, and after receiving more phone calls than anything. I love my mama to death. She likes to call. So, where were we? Ah, yes, health. I'm not guaranteed on health yet. Not guaranteed on health. I'm not guaranteed on defense values. But what we're going to do today, we're going to work on characters, and how characters work. Because they are a little bit different. And that means we have to see rise above the rest. Yeah, we'll do this. Rise above the rest. Heroes. Heroes emerge from all walks of life. Who the most proud races. Thing that binds all heroes together. Together is their exposure to dust. Dust acts as exposure to pure dust, we'll call it. Or unrefined dust, which is one of those things that we don't talk about in the Endless universe, because technically there's refined dust, and then there's unrefined dust, then there's technically pure dust, and then like the pure dust, which the Lost had, but the Lost are retarded. I think that entire plot line's stupid. It always was stupid. One thing that binds all heroes together is their exposure to pure dust. Once exposed, the individual must overcome its power and overflowing knowledge. Lesser individuals are usually killed or rendered helpless by its exposure. Those who manage to overcome the effects find themselves enhanced, thinking clear, understanding, expanding their minds, bodies, soul, inner workings of dust. I should put a big caveat there, being like, sometimes it works that way. Other times, who knows? It's a toss-up. It is unfortunately a wiggity whack. Something happens every now and again, and maybe it doesn't. Smug Pepe face. You know, it's like, oh, that's not quite how we want it. All right, so in game, actually, when the race has been when the species has been chosen, the hero must be created. Starting, it must be created. Hero may attune to a set of attributes and skills representing their own innate knowledge. Actually, own innate set of talents, while also attuned to a set of attribute and skills representing their innate set of talents. Spending an amount. How do I want to word this? A hero must be created. Species has been chosen. The hero must be created. The hero may attune to a set of attributes. Pretty much what the idea is, what I want is you have your basic attributes. Like, let's say we'll use the Mercy here. Like, here's my basic set of attributes. Actually, I should do something like this. Here are my basic set of attributes. I'm like, all right, I'm going to attune to these, and I have, let's say, like 12 points. So I'm going to have like 3 bod, 4 eloquence, so that'd be 7, 2 finesse, 9, 1, and 1. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11. Be like, this is my character. Like, that's how I've attuned, but that also has its own issues. But how do we assume everyone always begins with 1, with a 1d8, with a 1 in whatever. And then set of talents. So attributes. Yeah, this game is very front-loaded. It always had, like, these kind of games always are. A lot of your characters already done by the time you get the racial done, and then this part, like, congratulations, the character is wrapped up. You don't really need to think about it that hard. So what we're going to do, let's do attributes. Actually, all attributes begin at 1, while all skills begin at 0. So attributes, let's say attribute attunement. You're going to get, we do 12 points. That means overall you're going to have 12 plus 6. You'd have 18 dice in total, because you get 1 in all attributes, and it's 6 starting in all attributes, so you have 18, unless we want to do something like, unless we bring it down to 10, then we could do 16 attribute points. The idea being rely more on skills. All right, if we bump it up here, that means we'll have 20 dice in total spread among all of our attributes. So if we're using the Mercy, so if we use the Mercy as an example, technically our basic character is going to look like this, and now we get to distribute 14 points among them. Let's say we are going to dump 4 into you, 4 into you, we'll put 3 into you, so we are currently at 10, and we'll bump up finesse by 4. There's our sample character. 14 points in total spread among. We're freaking terrible at anything spirit related, but we don't want to do anything like that. But we're pretty good. We got pretty good reason, pretty good finesse. So, for example, let's see. I really like this website. It's very simple. So let's see. Let's make an eloquence roll. So eloquence roll, we scored 1, 2, 3, 4. We scored 4 successes with our eloquence roll right there. 5d8. We rolled pretty well. Let's make a bod check. 4 successes. Let's make a reason check. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. 5 successes because we got a 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 successes. Let's make a finesse check. 1, 2, 3 successes. Reason check. One success only. Yeah, alright. And then obviously our spirit check. Fail. Like we just failed that outright because we suck. And so I believe this works. And then if we unlock more potentials with higher tier races, better races, we could probably get this attunement up unless we want to tone that down. If we tone it down, it would look more like this. Unless I just want to say fuck it and actually if we say we just spread 20 points among everything, if we want to make things real easy, this, you know, we're spreading 20 points among everything. Everything starts at 0. However, we have to ask ourselves, what would someone with 0? I don't want any. I'm 0d8. I would roll just no dice. What did I? I rolled none of my attribute dice. And someone with that would probably not be mentally all there. So, okay. Yeah, let's do attribute attunement. Then it'd be like 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, so that would be 9, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. So that would be 7, let's see, 11, 15, 18. So here's our 20 points, because I can do math, I swear. 10, 15, 20 points. Yeah. Okay, that works. Not flawless, but it'll work. All attributes and talent. All attributes and skills begin at rank 0. And then we do attribute attunement points 20, and then skill attunement. Skill attunement points, we're going to have, let's see, so because we have so many of these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 skills. We do, people are mostly going to spec into like 1 or 2 different ones. So we can probably do something like, we can probably do 20 for both. Actually, let's do 25 skill attunements. 20 for attribute attunement. Yeah, alright, this will work for now. I don't know how to make this prettier, though. Like, yeah, this is how you make characters. Pretty simple. How did I do this for Slaves to Chaos? Where did I put you, slaves? This is also an issue I ran into with, you know, slaves to chaos more than anything. I call them affinities. So I am roughly on par with what I was doing originally. Okay, we'll do as custom. What we'll do instead, attributes and attunement. Heading 2. Actually, let's call it affinities. Here made to attributes representing their innate set of talents. All attribute. Actually, how do I want to do this? Okay. Attributes. Attribute affinity. As each race. Attributes that they are naturally predispositioned to. Predisposition to. I should keep saying species because it's really easy to say race. It's always funny when people are like, wow, game development's so easy, but it's really not. Because you got shit like this. How do you word things to make sure that people actually enjoy what you're actually putting out? And things get tedious sometimes because you got to think like, okay, what is someone who's never played a game before reads this? What are they going to think you actually mean? So you can actually over-explain something or under-explain something or not put in something the right way. And every single part of it you need to think about a little bit deeper than you would normally would. Discuss about each set of attributes that they are naturally predispositioned to. These form the hero's core attributes. Actually, heroes starting attributes. From here, the hero may choose their affinities with each attribute, assigning 20 points to each of. Actually, 20 points among each of the attributes. This raspberry tea is very good. 20 points among each of the attributes from 0 to... We'll call it at a cap of 7 for now. 0 to 7 when starting at. With the idea that actually, we can do probably from 0 to... We'll call it 0 to 6. So 6 times 6 is 36, so you're going to have 16 points left over of just able to do anything you feel like. Unless we do 5, then we have 30 points, and if you have 20... that means you can't put 5 in everything, so you're kind of predispositioned to put things differently. We'll bump it up to 7. But we can add some traits to that, actually. This is why you always add more mechanics. So we'll have naturally adept, and then we'll have naturally opposite of adept. Inept. As attuned particularly well with an attribute to increase their attunement, their affinity cap. Capped by one. Increase their affinity cap by 1. Species has failed to attune well with a particular attribute. Reducing their affinity cap by 1. Actually, we don't want to put this here. Actually, this species attunement, yeah, the affinity cap. I mean, affinity cap of an attribute by 1. The species lowers the affinity cap of an attribute by 1. And we'll call this, we'll give this, we'll give you an 8 and we'll give you a -4. So you're more inclined, this is a little bit more expensive, a little bit more awkward to use. You could probably do that with skills as well. That means we can also put you down to 5 now, because if you want to increase it, you can buy it. Racial creation, and I'm probably going to bump up racial creation to 100. Among each of the attributes when starting out, so we do here. Actually, what we want to do, for example, a hero species cap. Species attributes are as follows. Control Shift 8 B. And then after assigning their affinity, their 20 affinity points. Odd. What's it? We want to cap that up at 5. We want to be, let's be an eloquent guy. 3, we want to have eloquent up there high. We'll put finesse there, so we have 8. 11, 15, 18, 19. Ooh. Those numbers look very around the same. Reduce down to 15. If we do reduce things down to 15, that means people are going to be a little bit less competent. So we need to remove 5 from here. So let's move you. So this is 15, so it'd be 3d8, 5d8, 2d6, 3d8, 2d6. But 5, 7, 10. Actually, wait. 5, 10, 15. Now we have to ask ourselves, would you want to have higher attributes starting off? Or would you like to have more varied attributes? Well, when in doubt, ask consortium. Dun. See what people respond. Like, I'm going to lean toward the 15 as of right now. I think that'll give... I think that I think it looks a little bit nicer. Because you're like, oh, I have 3D, and that means your skills are going to be a little bit easier to, like, understand. But, like, part of me... Let's see. 13 for... Well, 13, but it's 13 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 5. Unless we do assign a 1 to everything, but... God, this is why, this is pain. I can see what I want, but I don't know how to do it. Assigning 15 points among each of them from 0 to 5 when starting out. Because you can score, let's see. With D8, you can score, this would be up to 6 successes, up to 10 successes. You have to roll 5 8s, but you can get it. 2 successes, 6 successes, 2 successes. I will keep the 15 here. I will... Why do you look so much nicer? Total 13. How they focus on a particular attribute. Why do you look so much nicer? Why do you look so much nicer than the spread I have? 4, 3, 2, 5, but I don't have skills in this game. Among their attributes. Focus. They are in particular attribute. Okay, yeah, we want to then this little line right here. When in doubt, never hesitate to steal from yourself, because past you is usually a lot smarter when it comes to things that they've written about 70 times at that point. So we want to... So what we can do is we can just make that one big... All right. All right. Okay. We'll have to work with that then. So now we get to work on 2 skills. We go to the correct sheet where I need to go. We need to work on skill affinities. Skill affinities. As discussed in the species creation section. Species is... always hate putting apostrophe S's at the end of ones with S's. It sounds weird. And skill affinities. In addition to the attributes, each species also has a preset amount of skills they are tuned to per category. It also has a category of skills they are adept at. However, at hero creation, the hero may select one category. And raise it up by one die value. From there, this represents their interests or their particular affinity. Actually, not terrible. It represents their interests or careers in that track, regardless of their race's predisposition. Because again, you need Klingon scientists. This is where that comes in. A Klingon would have a high militarist but a low science, but a Klingon scientist would be able to say, okay, I'm going to bump my science up a little bit by virtue of being, I am a Klingon scientist. And then this represents species predisposition. At hero creation, the hero has a total of 20 skill affinity points to spread among all of their skills, ranging from 0 to 5. Dealing how there's 20-ish skills, you're probably going to have a lot of 4s and 5s and like your very particular things. You're not really going to want to spread those out too much. So we already have our categories being like, okay, I'm an ecologist, I'm an industrialist, I'm a militarist, pacifist, religious, scientific. Which we probably also add as species traits. As we can add more skills. We'll give that a 4 and -2. The species actually raises the affinity. Actually, we'll do a skill category by 1. And then we can also just copy paste here and lowers the affinity cap. We'll call this skillful. And let's see. Yeah, skillful and lacking. I think that's the best way I can actually say it. So skillful. The species has found. The species becomes easily obsessed with very small, with broad skills, with a particular set of skills, throughout their lives. Adept at. The species is fairly lethargic when it comes to their personal development, allowing certain skills to fall by the wayside during their lives. What we can do is we can call this lethargic. Like, yeah, we're like just naturally a lazy people, and we just don't we don't acknowledge a certain skill at some points in our lives. Like, I have never fought in my life. I have no desire to actually fight, and my people are naturally not really adept at going to the situation. We're very lethargic. I'm going to have like a negative cap on my military skills, so I could only go up to a 4, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's like, okay, I have to spend my very limited amount of level ups, quote unquote, at fixing that. Which that brings us up to a total of 66 unique traits. Oh lord, there's a lot of traits. Why are there so many traits? Just have to make fun of Shadowrun 6th edition. Because Shadowrun 6th edition is a amusing and sad thing that we don't talk about because it never actually fucking happened. If we go to skill affinities, actually what we can do is we can put down the big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can put down the big like pie chart right here to kind of represent the various political alignments, because this is like your political class effectively from Endless Space 2. Because I want someone who's like, I am a militarist Horatio who may not be skilled particular in it, be like, okay, this is my thing. This is how I want to do this. Which is, let's see, we've got attributes, skills. What else am I missing? It would be favor. Okay. Which reminds me, we're going to do dust attunement. Dust attunement. Dust as a resource is a valuable and dangerous commodity. Individuals to break their barriers and ascend past their normal bodily functions. And hero creation. The hero has already gained a minor attunement. Attunement with the dust flowing through their veins. They are allowed to increase one attribute or skill category by 1 die value. Future dust attunement events. Actually, as the hero develops and adventures across the land, they will begin to attune deeper to the dust around them, increasing their attributes and skills even further. But each step slowly lowers a part of them. They see more clearly, understanding vast, terrible world, vast and terrible existence the endless fought for, and against. Pretty much what I want Dust Attunement to be like is it's simultaneously like this is how you quote level up. You are becoming more attuned to the kind of the dust around you. You're becoming stronger. You're becoming wiser. The problem is you're also becoming slowly more detached from yourself. You are no longer, I am, Vic Johnson, ace fighter pilot who's awesome and cool and can totally fight his way out of anything. You're slowly becoming Vic Johnson, super fighter pilot who is so good at what he does that he's not really focusing anymore on the fight. And he's too busy having philosophical debates with himself about the nature of the universe while dogfighting. Yeah, it's hence why heroes need to be kind of trained down. And like, okay, here's how you actually learn how to use your abilities properly. So attribute affinity, skill affinity, and finally we have to do health. Heroes are not immortal. Heroes are not immortal. Allows them to take hits and how do I want to do this? Ignore extreme pain. Extreme pain. They are still fundamentally mortal. Each hero has a how do I want to do this? Like half of me wants to go down. Half of me wants to go down the really traditional, just flat amount of health. The other half of me says wound tears, wound tears, wound tears. Who's available on Discord that I can yell at? You guys are having a discussion there, writing your don't need you. Who's not doing anything? This is hell sometimes when it's just like you can see it up here what you want, but you don't quite know how to do it. So let me, everyone else pings these guys, game designers. For a pulpier game, for a quote high fantasy science fiction setting, would wound tears or a flat health amount be more appropriate? Like, I'm gonna go with a flat health value for right now, but I'm not I'm not sold on it. Something about it. Has a set of health. Has an amount of health equal to their body type. Times 5 less. Standard issue science fiction. You have the answer. Do you have the answer I am looking for? Because you have wound tears, but you're not the wound tears that you think. They're not traditional wound tears. They're a little bit different. Even that's a little bit grim. What am I looking for here? I can see it at the top of my head. I cannot see it. I always hate it when I can see it up here in the noggin zone. God damn it, Noonie. See, each year has an amount of health equal to their bod die times equal to bod die times 5. So that means if you have D12, that means you'd have 60. But if you have D4, you'd have 20. So 20 to 60 health range is pretty decent. Bodily integrity. Should a hero reach 0 health? And are out of the fight until they can be saved. If a hero reaches negative half of their health value, they are immediately killed. Actually, they have been slain. They have been slain. Alright, so we do that, bod times 5, actually equal to their health, equal to their size. Equal to their size requirements. So that means if you are a tiny race, you're going to have fundamentally less health. Like a tiny race, I think you have plus 2 times 2. So it would be whatever. Size. Pod times 1, so you can technically have 4 to 12 health there, or 5. Do we want to give them more health? So let's do all the possible values. So if we do bod with 4, so they would be 4 to 12. If you have bod, if you are small, because you have a D4 or a up to a D12. If you are... Actually, if you are tiny, if you are small, you have 8 to 24. Average, you would have 12 to 36. Tall, you would have 16 to, you'd add 12 to that, 48. And huge, you would have 20 to 60. The range gets kind of insane near the end there, but again, you're paying for it. But the defense value, yeah, we'll work with that for now. It reaches negative half of their health value. They have been slain. Alternatively, we have health and well-being. Each hero has three tiers of health, representing, let's see, flesh wound, representing flesh wounds, serious wounds, critical wounds. And we could probably do the idea of, we go to Slaves of Chaos, Slave of Chaos Health. Tell me what I want to know. I should just put followers in there. So I use my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiers here. If we use this, use the Slaves of Chaos method, not the standard issue science fiction method. So we use something like this. A hero. Measure of flash series. Critical flash wound. And then we could probably do each tier is, because if we use this method, the idea is everything's tied to the bod, so it would be flesh wounds. Let's say for an average size character, it would be flesh wounds would probably be bod times 5. Serious wounds equal bod times 3. Then critical wounds just equal bod. So that would mean for tall, actually for huge, we could do flesh wounds equal bod times. If we want to do it more linear, we can do bod times like 8. God, that's a lot. We're gonna have an insane amount of wounds. Do this. Yeah. And officially, the actually dev Discord isn't helping because they cited the in my game, and the second that happens, any piece of advice usually falls to the wayside. Let's keep it simple for now. Nice and easy. I will debate with myself of how I want to do health and see if I can actually find a different way. Because it doesn't help that I'm working with like endless, actually, so like endless space heroes. Like, oh no, endless space heroes. What do you do? Let's look at the oh wow, look, it's no fucking health values or anything, because that's just not a part of it. And if we go to like, let's go to endless legends heroes and vaulters. Oh wow, look, they all have different life values, but it's like 92 and 74 and 92. Like there's no, this is a video game. Ha ha ha. Like range, like all of these are range, all these have the same except you, but why do you have different? I guess because you're supposed to be science person. Like why do you have 200? Like why? Because this is a 4X game, this is the way it is. Unless we just use a calculation was, and if it, wish I knew what it was, but don't believe. Start the game. You can be attained for more to complete certain quests. Because we have the Sisters of Mercy here. What is the health calculation? I wish I actually had the various calculations of how things go into it. But that also kind of defeats the point. Unless we use the idea of okay, so let's take a second to think. Lean back, put my leg up. I am a hero of the endless universe. I am a dust-enhanced individual. I am smarter. I am stronger. I am better than a normal person. However, my problem is I am slowly becoming detached from reality. How do you represent health? Maybe. Maybe. Bear with me here. We take the idea of Banner Saga health. No, that wouldn't work. Pretty much like have an exterior health and then like a meat. You have your like your basic health and then you have your meat health. After you break through their initial defenses, it's like, okay, now I'm actually hitting you in the meat places. We hit them in the, like, if we do that, how do you measure that starting health? Like, bod times 5? And let's do endurance and blood. Let's do that for right now. Let's say, okay, endurance and blood. Those are our two ideas. We use the idea that endurance is bod times whatever your size is, but blood is a constant 10. You have variable endurance, but you always have the same amount of health. You will die if your blood reaches 0, but your endurance is higher. And endurance kind of acts as your first shield against your actual health. Not necessarily meat points, but oh, Jesus Christ, that could work. What game does that? What game does that? Because if we do that, what we'll be able to do is make armor a bit different too. So if we do something like, let's take for example, a character is going to have, let's just say bod equaled blood. That is your meat points right here. That's me getting stabbed in the gut, and I am not doing too hot after being stabbed in the gut. However, on top of that, we're going to call, as of right now, endurance. What composes endurance? That's going to be kind of like your exterior health. Actually, how does Pillars of Eternity do it? Divide endurance and health together. These two stats measure how much punishment I can do. So endurance is resisted short-term injury. Knocked unconscious is regained through assortment of means, healing spells, class abilities. Once combat ends, endurance is regained rapidly. As you take damage, endurance will deplete. So that means so if we go under this idea, it would be, God, you'd almost have 2 sets of health bars, which good on paper, bad in execution. So maybe something like bod times X for endurance, with X being the value of being your size, so the super massive. So for example, let's take this again. We're standing now, no, we're serious. So the normal human being is going to have their bod times, we'll say 3. Let's say I have a D8 bod, that means with 3, I'm going to have 16. God. I'm going to have 24 health, 24 endurance. I take 20 damage, I still have 4 endurance. I'm still upright and functional. I'm still, relatively alive. However, then we have blood. Okay, I take 5 more damage. I'm now down to my blood. I only have 8 blood. It goes entirely off my bod, nothing else. That does mean smaller races are going to have they're going to have fundamentally less health, but the idea being they're going to have less endurance, but possibly, a decent. No, they wouldn't have a decent amount of health. There's a chance that they're going to have decent blood, but not decent endurance. That could work. It's not great, but it works. Perhaps. I think that, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna go with that idea. We'll mix it up. I'm always one for trying new things, so let's do it. So if we're going off that idea, what we need to do is we need to change the health values up here. There we go. That means we'll call it endurance. Endurance is there. Endurance. Unless we want to bump up the values a little bit. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's bump up the values just a bit. So we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big guys are going to be able to take a lot more damage, with the problem being they're a lot easier to hit. You're going to be hitting these guys pretty consistently because they're 8.5 foot tall super monsters. Which, if you couldn't hit them, there's something fundamentally wrong with your aim, mate. Alright, so if we do this idea. So, we're going to keep this. We actually already have it there. So, each hero has an endurance and blood value. Endurance and blood value. Endurance represents punishment a hero can sustain without having lasting effects on their person. Without having lasting effects on their person. While blood presents serious injuries, it will not dissipate. It will not dissipate without serious medical attention. Go away, Steam. Without serious medical attention. Endurance is determined. Endurance is determined by the size of the speed. Endurance is determined by the size of the species, while blood is entirely dependent on the species, bod score, and any associated traits. Which does mean I'm going to have to fix some of the traits, but I think that'll work. And actually, we go to standard issue science fiction. Dr. X will build a creature. We can probably put out the survival strategies section. So if we want to do the survival strategies, I need associated traits. If endurance reaches 0, and then blood starts to be reduced. But when blood is reduced to 0, then the hero is slain. Alright, so survival strat. During combat, a hero may pass out from the pain. They are if they have taken any blood damage. This takes the hero out of the fight, but they are alive for now. A hero in this state. The character is attacked while they are in the state. They are killed. Maiming during combat. Hero may choose to reduce all incoming damage to 0, but they are instead maimed. The character, when a hero is maimed, they can reduce an attribute of their choice by 1 die, or lose a limb of their choice, lowering all skills in that. Or lose a limb of their choice. Actually, attribute by 1 die, reduce all skills. A skill category by 1 die, or lose a limb of their choice. Then trauma has the character access one arms, legs, non-essential extremity. This extremity is rendered unusable and probably severed off. Which again is, you have the benefit. This is the beautiful thing. The benefit, if you are a robot, of not really caring if your limbs get ripped off, because you can just reattach them. Which is very useful. Every single part of you is integrated into yourself. If you get your arm ripped off, just reattach it. If you get your leg severed off, reattach it. As long as you have the tools, you can reattach things. The issue is that if you have the tools, if you are on a TL1 planet and you are a robot, you are probably, unless you brought them with you, you probably do not have the tools to reattach your leg. So you will have to make a peg leg, and you will be a crazy robot peg leg man. So in battle, a hero. I'll lose a limb / sense of their choice. Limb or sense trauma. That's pretty much getting your eye ripped out or something. While in battle, a hero currently not being shot at, attacked, or threatened with a medical check. The medical check restores 1d6 plus medical wounds to the target with the target number. Yeah, so we don't want treatment. Actually, out of combat treatment. When the heroes are out of combat, they begin to naturally heal. A hero will restore their health at a rate of. Actually, will restore their endurance at a rate of 10 per day or 20 per day. Medical facility. Blood will restore at a rate of 1 a day or 3 a day in a medical facility. So yeah, if you take blood damage, there's a good chance you may not be waking up. Like it's dangerous once you get to that point. But that's the best way to word that is endurance is your flesh wounds. Like, okay, I'm hurt, but I'm not dying. Taking a blood wound is someone going with a sword, slashing through your side, and having a spurt of blood go out. You are still standing, but things are not looking good for you. You are very hurt, and you will probably die if they hit you again. So what you need to do right now is make sure that you don't get away from them. You know, surrender even. You're reminded of one of my actual favorite things, and what is it? I read it before and I loved it to death, and I can see it at the top of my head. It's right there. I can see it. Not Urban Shadows. Unknown Armies. Unknown Armies has an entire bit of like, hey, don't get like, fighting sucks. Don't get into fights if you don't have to. If someone pulls a gun on you, probably the best option you can do is call the cops. Because what are they gonna do? You've called the cops on them. Are they gonna stay around there and get into a shootout? Like, no, people are self-interested. All right, so let's see where we are. Okay, we've got heroes done. We've got more traits. We've got traits we can actually fix too. Let's use +1 to the defense value score. All right. So here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to call it here. And on Wednesday, the plan is... So actually, let's take a second to actually kind of figure out where we are in the rough of it. So let's get our to-do list. So what we need to do right now is we need... Equipment's going to be a part. We need to get pretty much TL1 to TL5 stuff in. And what else? Okay, we need to get combat sorted out. We need to get... So we got equipment, we've got combat. We've got, let's see, equipment, combat. Actually, what we can do is, we'll call it exterior rules, things like driving. Actually, piloting and driving things. Call it companions as well. We'll put companions in there. They're not as essential. We'll call them exterior rules. So combat's probably going to be the big one. Equipment, we're going to need an absurd amount of equipment for this game. I can tell you that much right now. Oh yeah, we need traversal. Actually, we need just an entire thing on technology levels and heroes. Probably put in things like the academy. What else do we need? It's a mirror. What else do I want to add? Oh god, I forgot about the classes. I forgot about the classes. Classes. Yeah, I might do that in the weekend. I might do that in the few days in between. I might do that later tonight. I completely forgot about it. I was going to do classes for this game. Oh god. Oh no. Let's see. So roughly speaking, we are done with this. Technically, actually, what I want to do, I'm going to keep that in here because I'm going to inevitably need... No, wrong button. This has been worked out. Let's Stronger than the average person, tech level system. Alright. We're doing pretty good, so the classes are going to be a big thing. I completely fucking forgot about classes. We'll have to manage with any exterior rules at the top of my head. Which is never fun. Alright. Okay, alright. We'll have to add in other things at this point. Oh god, why did I forget all these things? Alright, what else am I forgetting? What else am I forgetting? How autistic do I want things? How autistic do I want things? We can... You know what we're going to do? We're going to throw in... Random sector creator. So we got the random sector creator, we got companions, we got piloting and driving, technology level and heroes, which is going to be more of a description than things. Equipment is going to be an extensive amount of stuff, which also reminds me I'm going to need to do upgrading equipment here. Alright, so this is the current schedule on things, and if you realize, I am dumb, and I forgot things, and this is going to be a big project. So classes, I will try to get that done. Fix the traits up. Equipment's going to be pretty big. I think it's going to be something more like this in the rough of it, so... Probably something like this. Actually, what I could do is put this in here, with the idea being that you have your combat, so we're going to work on classes, make sure characters work. Then we're going to go and move on to combat. Once combat is at a functional place, we're going to move on to the academy. Academy is pretty much going to be your leveling up system. It's going to also be kind of a more lore-centric place, because I have to sprinkle fucking lore throughout this entire book. Equipment's going to go from TL1 to TL5. Technically, there's TL6 and 7. Do I actually put that in there? I'm going to need TL6 instead. No, not yeah. We're going to need TL6, TL1 to TL6. Like, TL7 is like your mystical artifact bullshit. That's what that is. Technology levels, that's just going to be a description of, like, certain planets are going to be at a certain tech level. At certain tech levels, people are going to be doing stupid things. So, bear with it. And then we're going to do upgrading equipment, with the idea being that you have to find resources, find people who can do things, and then you can upgrade your TL1 sword to a TL2 sword to a TL3 to a TL4, TL5, TL6, and, you know, forge out you. So you can have the same weapon throughout your entire career, where it starts as, oh, I have this TL1 sword of my people, and it sucks because it's a fucking sword. But it's like, I've coated it in titanium, and it's now been wired with electrical stuff that I can dash across the battlefield with it, because I am a dust and hand Superman. And then the academy is going to be pretty much how you level up and stuff. That'll also going to have to be a section of lore, because we have to put in things like I can see it. I read one thing that was stupid, and my brain went... Okay. Things are looking pretty good. Yeah, we're going to have to put in things like Syndirans there and well, unless we want to do some other not Syndir stuff, but... Alright, so for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it here. I'm going to work on classes tonight into tomorrow. Then we're going to, on Wednesday, we're going to do combat. Combat is going to be fun, right, everyone? We're all going to say combat is going to be fun on 3. 1, 2, 3. Combat's going to be fun. It's not. It's not going to be fun at all. But we're going to work on that. Everything should work as planned. If that goes smoothly, we may be able to go into the academy right away, and then it'll just be like 2 episodes of equipment stuff, and then the rest will be exterior rules. Then we'll be done. All right. Thank you all for watching. Godspeed, good luck, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.